Anyway, so they had like the girl, and I won't say her name, but the girl looked at my cousin and they were talking about club promotions. And being that I'm a club promoter and a DJ, this is in my wheelhouse, so I know what's going on here. So she says to my cousin, well, you know what? You don't have the personality to be a club promoter. And of course my cousin took offense or whatever, but she didn't say anything. But I was like, whoa, this is too heavy. So I got up, I was out. Like, it was like my second time getting up between their conversation because I just felt like it was very uncomfortable. It wasn't something that I wanted to be around. Because you guys, I'm all about positive, like, energy, and I just will not be in a situation where people are being foul and being negative, or I just won't be in it. I'll get up, I'll be out. So I was done. I was like, I'm not going to be around this because there's some tension here. So we ended up, I was ready to go. So I was like, well, let's go. So we were packing up to go. And then the girl was like, well, let's go to someplace else. And I was like, really? So we're going to continue to go? And sure enough, we go. And the tension just kept going. There was tension. And now all of a sudden, like, no one's saying anything. Like, everybody's pretending like this is normal. And I'm like, you guys, this is too much. Like, the conversation is heated, but it's not heated where they're arguing. They're just kind of biting at each other. I would say taking jabs is how I perceived it. So when the night was over, everything was cool. Everybody was like all peaceful or whatever. But when we got into the car, it was like, wow, what was that? I thought you were gonna leave that situation alone and she's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, it felt like you were taking jabs and being kind of snarky the whole night. She blew up. She's like, well, what examples do you have? And I'm like, well, I don't really have an example. It's just like snarky and a bit, a little snappy. And she's like, well, if you don't have any examples. And I'm like, oh, okay, so it's going there. But here's what I pieced together. And these are one of these things you learn as you get older. It's like, and this is the one reason why I stay to myself the majority of the time of my life, because, like, this situation wasn't my situation. It wasn't my business. And obviously, that's obvious. But I just felt like when you go out with people, it's to have a good time. And at our age, it's about good conversation and about good positive energy, And for someone to be like, well, if I don't have examples, then it's not helping me, then basically keep it to myself. And I'm like, okay, I got you. It's like people in 2015, you can't talk to people. Like, you want to be able to just tell people honestly how you feel about stuff, but really people don't appreciate your honesty. You try to be honest with people, but I think they take your honesty as being an insult or bringing them down. But it's like, sometimes honesty is about checking yourself, to be able to recognize that maybe we all need to be a little humble. Like, I get humbled all the time, and people will say how I've made them feel or whatever. And I go, really? I didn't mean that, or I didn't see that, or that wasn't my intention. Because if I mean to tell you something, or if I mean to come off at something or a way, I will make sure that I'm coming in that direction, And it was weird because so the next day I get the apology, but it was so backhanded. It was just the most backhanded apology that I was just sitting there going like, this is why I don't talk to people. Like, I swear to God, doing a podcast is the safest way to give your opinion, because no one has to, they can either take it or leave it. You as the audience, you listening, and my podcasts are random. They're always random. We never know what I'm going to talk about. And most of the time, it's all my opinion, And I think that's why it's so amazing, is because no one has to tell me whether or not what I'm saying is offensive or hurts their feelings or whatever, because it's not intended to hurt anybody's feelings or make someone feel a certain way. But it's weird, you just can't talk to people, you can't share your honesty with people, because people feel like such a way about things that it turns into you being the big bad wolf. And it's like, you're not always the big bad wolf. Sometimes you're just, I don't know, you're just the person stating how you feel. And even if you do that, people feel like you're attacking them. And it's like, that's not an attack. Sometimes it's sound word. It's just one person observing something and trying their best to try to diffuse something, you know? And I was like, wow. So it turned, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, I said in my life, I was like, well, I'll just pull back. You know, I'll be like, you know, I'll be hello, I'll be goodbye, whatever. Because one thing about me is I'm always honest. And it's probably not what everybody wants or looking for in life, but I'm always honest. And if I can't be honest with someone, then I will pull out. I'm done. I'll be like, okay, well, you continue living that life, and I'm going to continue living mine. And I'm going to be honest, and, you know, and if my honesty affects you in this way and to where you want to be negative and yell and be like, you know, if it's, you know, to be so arrogant to say that, you know, I guess if you don't have any specifics, then basically keep it to yourself. You know, I'm not walking around quoting people verbatim. I'm not walking around carrying around a notepad making sure I get every single word out of something. That's just not who I am. And I thought, wow, really? When you're this old, you still have to go through that? And I guess the answer is yes. So, before I go any further, because I don't want to lose this, on my new segment of the show called What Would Your Mama Say? Now, I came up with that because, again, there's been so much crazy stuff on the news lately, and just I think people have just run out of stuff to do. So I'm just going to read you this real quick story. So this was in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm not going to read it. I'm just going to say that a man in the airport, stripped naked, completely naked, and mad because the flight was overbooked. So I guess it was U.S. Airways flight to Jamaica, and it was overbooked. And so he was so pissed off that his protest was to get completely, you know, buck naked, and that was his protest, to be able to say to people, to U.S. Airways, that I'm pissed off. So I'm so pissed off, I'm gonna get naked and stand here, I guess, basically until you arrest me. And I ask, what would your mama say? Because how is that a protest? Like, being naked and then going, that is a federal, you can't do that. Like, I'm the first person, I love being naked in public. I really do. I am not even gonna lie. I would do stuff in public in a minute, but that's not a protest. That's like my thing. And I'm like, how is this telling anything to anybody? Like, what are you doing? Like, how is this helping your cause? By the flight was overbooked. It happens a lot. It happens all the time. People's flights get overbooked all of the time. You understand? So, sir, you can just put your clothes right back on, and so we can take your ass to jail, because you've done nothing but just shown people that your entitlement and your tantrums, really, This is how you choose to show people your maturity. This is how you handle your business when you're pissed off, is you strip naked and make people see your nasty wiener. Like, and you should see them. Like, there is a video, so if you just want to Google it, it's out there. It's like you're gonna force people to see your nasty wiener because you're pissed that they overbooked the flight. All you have to do is sit down for a few hours and have them figure out how to get your stank ass over to the island. Jamaica ain't going nowhere. It ain't going anywhere. Trust me, by the time you get out of your holding cell, it'll still be there. And this time you're going to have to explain why you're late, because you decided to throw a tantrum and throw your clothes off. And what did that do? Like, is that how your parent raised you? Is that how your parents raised you? To when you don't get your way, and when someone makes a mistake by actually overbooking, and how you tell them you're displeased with their mistake, is you strip naked in an airport, and that's your protest. That's how you handle things in 2015. That's where we are. See, this is why I do this show, because it's not that I can't make it up, because I could make it up, but this is not made up. This happened. This man, and I love nudity in news. It's so awesome, because people being naked and getting in trouble is so awesome. I love when it happens, because you're just like, there's better ways you could have handled that. But this is how you choose to handle it. You're gonna get your little nasty wiener out and get it all in a grump, and show people you're unhappy about how they handled this situation. Sir, next time you're pissed, you want to do something like this and protest and get naked, do it in like a Popeye's chicken or something, where it's going to make a difference, where people are not only going to be angry, but they're going to whoop your ass. And you're going to find yourself with greasy fingerprints of chicken and your ass whooped. Because doing it in the airport, you've done nothing. You just got on the news. But if you did that at Popeyes or something, you would have got your ass whooped, especially in Chicago. Because people don't play that. They just don't play that. But that's what's happening. And, you know what? I'm done. I'm hungry. So I'm leaving early today. Usually, no, I don't. I was about to lie and try to tell you I'd give you a full 45 minutes. I don't always do that, but music does play out till for the 45, and today will be no different. I'm gonna close it out with "I Shall Not Be Moved" by Kenny Bobian, because I love this song. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for listening to this show, and again, tell a friend, and that's it. That's all I got. So till next week, enjoy and have a great 3-day holiday.